Hello guys, once again welcome back to Dots Doctorate Scholar Talks. So today we are with our new doctorate student. Her name is Anouk. So Anouk, you are most welcome to Dots Scholar Doctorate Talks.
Thank you.
So today we will ask about your journey from your childhood, school as well as the college, and you are doing your PhD over here in Montpellier. So we will begin with the first question. So tell us a little bit about your place of birth and how you grown up and from which country you come from.
Okay, so that was a hard question right from the beginning.
Okay.
So I grew up in Germany,
Okay.
not very far from the French boundary, very close to Frankfurt,
Okay.
Heidelberg. So yeah, about an hour from Strasbourg
Okay.
in France. So you asked the question where I was born. I was born
Yes.
in the US.
Okay, you were born in US.
But I don't
That's
really
nice.
remember much about it.
So it is like born in US, brought in Germany, and
Yes.
studied in France. That's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
I don't remember much about the US. So I grew up in Germany, and we moved to France. I moved to France with my parents when I was in 9th grade.
Okay.
So I integrated the French school system in 9th grade. And then after high school, I went to Lyon in France to study for 2 years of bachelor in maths, informatics, statistics.
Okay.
Applied to social studies, so I
Nice.
chose geography.
Okay.
And then after the 2 years of bachelor, I wanted to combine more the geography and the informatics aspect, and I went to an engineering school in Paris called UNSG, École Nationale des Sciences Géographiques,
Okay.
which is basically an engineering school about geomatics.
So where you completed your masters in Paris?
Yes, so an engineering school is equivalent to a
Okay.
master's.
So after completing your masters, how you decide to enter in the research, especially and pursue the PhD?
It was a difficult question. All my internships were research internships.
Okay.
So
In which research interest, in which organization or company?
My first internship was in the US
Okay.
at North Carolina State University
Okay.
in a geospatial lab. And then my second internship was already with the same institute where I'm doing my PhD right now.
Okay.
So with INRAE in Grenoble about remote sensing. And I was hesitating for a long time if I should do a PhD or not.
Okay.
And so it's mostly talking with my master's teachers and discussing with some researchers that I decided to do a PhD.
Okay. So basically, you are doing your internship in the US, and what basically excited you to come back to the France and do your PhD?
Well, I guess there's lots of excellent labs all over the world, in Europe and out of Europe, but I think the reason I stayed in France is a personal reason, because I have my friends and family which are mostly in France. So that's why I studied in France for my PhD.
Okay, so as you are doing your PhD here in Montpellier, which is the Maison de la Détection, in English we call the House of Remote Sensing. So basically, what is your first step when you apply for the PhD over here, and what are the different round or the, you will say, interview round, technical round you faces while getting recruited for this PhD position?
Overall, I applied at 3 different PhDs all around Montpellier, because it's kind of a remote sensing hub in France.
Yes, okay.
And then, so the PhD I finally got, it was a colleague so I did my internship at INRAE in Grenoble, and my internship supervisor, I was talking with him and told him I was thinking about doing a PhD. And so he put me in contact with colleagues from Montpellier, which were interested, which had a PhD proposition and were looking for candidates. So that's how I got it. So then I got in contact with them, and they already had half of the foundings.
Okay.
And then we took a few months to find the second half of the PhD founding, and then I could start my PhD.
Okay, nice. So just from your point of view, what are the minimum eligibility criteria for a student to apply for the PhD?
I think the only thing which is really required is a master degree or
Okay.
equivalent of an engineering school in France.
Okay.
So 5 years after, yes, you must have studied for 5 years after your high school degree. And I don't think there's any other specific.
So what is your view about the research paper? Because many people who are, or you will see many students who are pursuing their masters, they believe or have the myth, they have some research paper already written before they apply for the PhD. So what is your view about this?
Could you repeat the question?
I mean to say, it is important to you already have a research papers when you are applying for the PhD position.
Yes. I didn't have any research paper yet. I did a research project during my engineering school with IGN, which is the Institut National de Géographie and Forestry of France. And I really liked that project, and we published a conference paper.
Okay.
So it probably helped, but it's not mandatory. So
Okay, it's not mandatory.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
That's wonderful. So if I talk about because people are more curious to know about the stipend, how much stipend do they get? So if I ask about in your case, basically, what amount of the stipend do a student get when he or she is pursuing his PhD in France, especially?
In France, there is a minimum wage for public institutes. I think it's about between 1,700 and 1,800 per month. And then, so every month, when you put away all the taxes and the other, I get 1,480 euros on my bank account every month.
Okay.
And that's the strict minimum in France. So it's nice.
As you mentioned about the public PhD positions, so what is basically difference in the public and private, especially in terms of the stipend? If I am doing public or I am doing in private?
I guess you're better paid in private than in public.
In private or in public?
No, in private.
In private. Okay,
Yeah.
so it is wonderful if you are doing in private, you will get more paid.
I guess so,
Okay.
but you have other
Okay.
advantages.
So if I talk about your life, how your life is affected when you entered in the PhD or start pursuing your PhD, and before you were in masters, how you compare you both the lives?
It's different. You feel more like an adult being in a PhD.
Okay.
It's more like a job. I see myself more like a job than a student.
Okay.
Because you work on your project, and you have your colleagues, and you have a salary, so you're not a basic student anymore. On a personal way, it has changed because I moved from Paris to Montpellier.
Okay.
So I guess that's a big change in my life.
Okay. So do you find time to parties and enjoyment, or you are like stubborn to the research?
No, for now I still find plenty of time to see friends and family and have fun.
Okay, so it's nice at least if
Do
you are
sports
doing, yes, nice. So if you are doing your PhD, still you have enjoyment in your life.
Yeah, for now, yes. Maybe probably won't be the same in third year, but for now it's still.
It's cool. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, so my next question about what are your plans you have after this PhD, completing the PhD, like in which domain you see yourself?
I don't really know yet what I want to do afterwards.
Okay.
So maybe continuing research or work in a company, do research and development as a research engineer in a company. We'll see what opportunities I get during my last year or after my PhD.
Okay. So we have talked more about your studies and academics. So let's talk about the culture as well as the life in France. So what do you think, what are the best places in France for the student to enjoy and visit, and what are the different way to make a life enjoyable?
I think there's lots of nice cities in France. I enjoyed my 3 years in Paris.
Okay.
It was nice as a student because there's lots of cultural activities, going to the theater, museums, lots of things are free or very affordable for students. and it's fun. But I would
Okay.
not have I was looking for a PhD outside of Paris to get out of the city, and I prefer the mountains to
Okay.
the city. So I think Montpellier is very nice. We're close to the sea, close to the mountains too, and there's lots of cultural fun events happening in the city
So
too.
what are the main sports you like to play always?
I do track and field,
Okay.
running.
Running.
I kind of stopped these last 3 or 4 years, but I used to run it actually.
And what kind of the movies you used to watch, like French or?
I watch all kind of movies.
So
Netflix and
how many languages do you know?
3, just French, German, and English.
Okay, that's wonderful. Knowing 3 languages, awesome. And all 3 are fluent.
I guess English is the worst, yes.
Okay. For me, French is worst, I will say. Okay. And little bit, if I talk about the French food, what kind of the food you like in France?
I guess French is very known for its cheese and croissants and baguette, and I eat almost everything. I'm not very hard.
Okay. As the Eiffel Tower is one of the famous place in, I will say, in France, especially in Paris. So how many times you visited it?
Paris?
Yeah, especially Eiffel Tower.
I've been up there once with my parents.
Okay.
But I've been not going up, but being at the bottom of our tower. Eiffel Tower at the time. Yes.
As you told, let's a little bit more talk about the education. You were in US also, and you studied some in Germany also,
yes,
and in France. So you have the experience of the 3 education system. How you compare all these 3 education system, and what is the best thing you like about 3 of them?
I'm not sure I can compare them because I was in Germany during high school, during school, and the US I've only been here for 4 months for my internship. But yeah, the school systems are quite different. French students finish. French students have less different, but I don't know the exact differences.
Okay.
Germany is probably.
You mean French students have the less liability or responsibility?
No responsibility.
So this is because they have a lot of benefits from the government. That is one of the case. Or?
No, I'm not talking about that kind of responsibility.
Okay.
It's more like, at least in high school, that's what I can compare the most. I can't really compare the.
So for you, which one is the best one you wish to?
I don't know. They all have their good parts and their.
Okay. They have pros and cons.
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. So, just for a couple of more questions about as the confinement is going on in France, and I think almost shops are open. So, what do you feel? What kind of the problems do students face over here during confinement?
Well, it's getting better. But it was kind of hard at the beginning to start the PhD without seeing the supervisors, without seeing colleagues, meeting colleagues and other PhD students. But people are going back to work.
Okay, things will be better soon.
Yeah, and internet is working really well.
Yeah.
We can do Skypes without problem. So it's getting better, especially to discover the region of Montpellier, which I didn't know before.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to go explore the country.
So, other last question to you.
Yes.
What message would you like to give to the young people or the young students who are in the masters and they have the wish to pursue their PhD or doctorate? So, what message would you like to give them?
You have nothing to lose doing a PhD.
Okay.
It's 3 years of working in a specific project, and a specific subject you're supposed to like. It's an individual work, but also teamwork if you work on the project. And to find a PhD, just don't hesitate to look on all the university websites, all the lab websites, everything you can find, and apply and try.
Okay, nice. So we come with the end of all the questions of the interview. Now, as we play a small game, which is the rapid fire with our candidates. So I will, in this game basically, I will give you the two options and you have to answer one of them.
Okay.
Which you like. Okay. So my first one we will begin. Paris, Montpellier.
Montpellier.
Research, business.
Research?
Wine, whiskey.
Wine.
Okay. It will be difficult for you, I hope. Husband, boyfriend. Husband, boyfriend.
In between. Still boyfriend, still boyfriend.
Okay. Okay. France, Germany, US.
And it's difficult. All three of them.
Okay. Book, movies.
Movies.
Okay, one more. French, English, German.
French.
Okay. Friend, family.
Both.
Both.
Yes.
Okay. Now one more question. Any dream country where you wish to go?
There's plenty of countries I would like to go.
The one you want to
for
go
vacation.
soon. And where you never been?
I don't know, maybe South America?
Okay. Last question. Best moment of your life till now?
Probably some vacation. Some vacation with my friends and family. Camping.
Okay, that's nice.
In national parks.
Okay, wonderful. So once again, thanks a lot, Anouk, for your time.
Thank you.
And coming in this talks.
Thanks for you for organizing this one. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much guys for watching this interview. We will come with another candidate. And thank you so much once again. Be happy, be healthy, take care. Bye.